It's a remarkable story about a cooperative. It's called CCA. Sometimes it goes by the name CCA Global Partners. It's an idea developed by two businessmen in the United States some years ago who understood deeply the terrible conflict between small business and big business. If you understand how business works, the bigger you are, the better the deal you can negotiate. Whether you're buying pencils, or you're buying electricity, or you're selling your materials, the bigger the fish you are, the better the deal you can get. Which means that big companies have a leg up in competing with small ones because they're big. And this has always been very dangerous because what it has done is basically allowed the big companies to compete out of existence and eventually swallow the small ones, which is why the typical history of an industry in our country is one in which starts with many firms and then over time becomes fewer and fewer until literally 3 or 4 are left. These two gentlemen in the United States who started the CCA Cooperative, CCA Global Partners, basically said to the small business universe, you need a cooperative. You need it because you won't survive otherwise. If all the little businesses got together as a co-op, they would be able to buy inputs together with the big scale advantage that a large company has. They could negotiate with wholesalers and retailers who sell what they produce with much more clout because there are many gotten together in a cooperative way. It turns out cooperation has been stunningly successful with the CCA, that has grown spectacularly. And because it's a cooperative, it is owned by all the little firms that make use of it. So if it makes money by charging each firm, at the end of the year, the profit is returned back to all the little businesses that help form and create this co-op. It's a cooperative. It's a proof of the power of the cooperative. It helps small businesses survive, but it goes one further. It demonstrates a superiority of the co-op. Because, as they enjoy pointing out, they were much less damaged by the collapse of 2008 than were all other kinds of companies, large and small, that didn't have a cooperative to help them get through the crisis. But they make a further point, which is the one I want to stress with you. When little businesses get together as a co-op so they can compete with big businesses, they're still each little businesses. They have the personal involvement, the commitment of the people who work together, knowing one another, working together. This produces a better quality of service to the ultimate customer than the big impersonal corporations can ever achieve. So they can get the benefits of bigness by being a cooperative without losing the virtues of smallness, which in the kinds of businesses that get together is the make or break in terms of customer loyalty, the make or break in terms of being successful. It's another proof that cooperation among people, far from being a soft and cuddly nice idea, which it is also a very powerful political and economic strategy, and therefore can succeed quite nicely, thank you, in competition with big corporations who, when they don't have that special scale advantage, have to live with the disadvantage of their large, impersonal failures at servicing their customer, which anyone who deals with large corporations knows about. It's an interesting study about how cooperation can exist not only among working people within an enterprise, but also cooperation is a principle that has important values elsewhere in economic systems.